Yeah, that's the same thing. Yeah. So I know what this is. This is the circular thing in the middle. That's an where you're pointing. That's an ammonite, and you can actually see the septa. So if you move your cursor to the right, just to the right there.
Right here.
Okay, a little bit too far. Just slow down. Move it. I can't see where your cursor is. Okay, move it up. Move it up. Just a little bit more. A little bit more. Stop. Go back down. No, back down a little. No, too much. No, to the right. That little line there.
Oh, right here?
No, that little line straight up.
Right here?
Yeah, go to the left a little bit. That line right there.
This one here.
That line, yeah. So that's a septa. So the way an ammonite works, you don't have a scale in the photo, which, would help. But I assume that thing's like 6 inches across or 4 inches across.
Yeah.
So a septa, so the way a nautilus swims is the shell has chambers that are filled with air, and that line right there is the boundary between the chambers. So that's not soft body, that's a shell.
Okay. So I got a lot of pictures, and maybe you can guide me through them because there's a lot of different sections and parts of things.
And this is not marble, that's limestone, by the way.
It's limestone. Well, it's metamorphic rock, though, right?
No, it's not.
That's
classic limestone. A lot of times when builders and architects use terms for rocks, they use them. They're more architectural terms than actual geology terms, and so sometimes builders will use or architects will use the term marble for anything that is made of calcite.
Well, I'm pretty sure that I have seen online pictures of marble with fossils with ammonites in them, right?
Occasionally, if it's very, very low grade metamorphism, yeah.
But it is metamorphic rock, though, right?
Well, metamorphic rock, there's a grade, there's an infinite gradation between purely sedimentary and purely metamorphic. Yeah, this is that's a beautiful, beautiful ammonite. Just gorgeous. This is probably Cretaceous, maybe Jurassic limestone. Yeah. That's a really beautiful ammonite.
Yeah, I'm thinking they're all pretty much the same sediment layer, pretty much.
Yeah, I don't know where it came from. I tried to do a Google search on the airport. Sometimes there's online guides to the different kinds of rocks, but I didn't find anything.
I
didn't spend very long doing it either.
I think it's a quarry from somewhere like in Georgia or someplace. They dug up this.
But those are beautiful, beautiful ammonite fossils. One thing I'd suggest is if you take pictures again, include a scale. Like a pen or a coin or something in the photo.
Well, it's got the size of the tile, which is like
probably 18 inches or something.
Yeah, it's a standard size tile, probably.
Yeah, they're either a foot or 18 inches usually. Yeah.
Okay, so
that's a beautiful, beautiful ammonite. But again, that's a shelled.
Well, I'm glad you like them because I've been trying to show them to a lot of people, and I can't get much interest in them.
Well, but they're pretty common. That's why. Nobody, the ammonites are like a dime a dozen.
Well, apparently, yeah.
Yeah. That one you can really see on the inside. You see all the septa there that are dividing the chamber. Like
these here.
Yeah, those are all the air chambers. So if it's cut exactly down the middle, which this one isn't, it's really hard to get that cut. If it's cut exactly down the middle, there's actually a tube that connects all those chambers. And when the organism is alive, it can control the relative proportions of air and water in those chambers. And that's how it maintains buoyancy.
That would be like a submarine.
Exactly like a submarine. Exactly like a submarine. So what it does is as it's swimming and it goes up and down in the water column, it'll adjust the proportion of air so that it doesn't have to suspend or use a lot of energy to propel itself up or down. It just floats at the right position.
So this section here would be like its body?
That's where the living animal would be, yeah.
Okay, do you know anything about these sections here?
That's just where it's crushed in and filled with sediment a little bit.
Okay. So it's basically the same thing. Basically the same thing, right?
Yeah.
But and its body is here.
Yep.
How about here?
Yeah, the body. That's the end of the shell. That's the end of the shell. So the body looks like a octopus. These are related to squid.
Right. Yeah. Right. But you don't think any of this has to do with this body protruding from the shell?
And in fact, if you zoomed in there, if you have, so those are all little bits and pieces of other shells. I can't quite, Yeah, I can't quite make them out what they are, but
It's
a lot of times you'll see little bits of clams, and that may be a snail right there.
yeah.
Yeah, that little thing there could be a snail, but none of it is soft-bodied. Yeah, this is all pretty standard stuff for geology. But
Okay.
this may be very, very low-grade metamorphism, but I'd call this a limestone.
Okay. Yeah. It
So if you
is.
put a drop of acid on it, which I wouldn't do in an airport, but if you put a drop of very weak hydrochloric acid on it, it'll probably fit. You see there, you see the septa in the old part of the, yeah, and
Okay.
then the later part, some of the chambers have crushed and filled with sediment. Yeah,
Okay. And
these,
the body begins around here
yeah,
somewhere.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And you don't think that any of this is part of the body?
No, no. There are, preserving the soft part. So, I don't know, have you ever eaten squid or octopus? I mean, there's just that stuff once it starts to decay decays really really fast, and there are a very few preserved squids
Yeah.
or ammonites with the tentacles,
Yeah.
but I'll bet in all the world there aren't more than 50 specimens.
But I
Yeah,
actually think this is part of the body. The reason
but
why is because I have a lot more pictures that do have other animals, and I wanted to see if you could maybe identify some of
yeah,
the animals.
it's not those. That's just carbonate debris. It's little bits of shells. I mean, I've looked at a lot of this kind of stuff in thin section. Yeah, that's another ammonite. The reason it looks squished is because
Oh,
it's not being cut exactly on parallel to the body. It's being cut off center a little bit.
we got
But that's,
mustard here. Got some mustard there.
yeah, I don't know what mineral that is. It's some
Yeah,
other
you're right about this.
trailerite.
It's cut at
It's
an angle,
yeah,
right?
yeah. That's and you see those on the top. You see how it's really irregular.
Yeah,
There's a lot of ammonites that have ridges on the shell,
yeah,
and so yeah. Hold on a second. My sister is contacting me. Okay.
yeah. So this is at an angle, some kind of angle, or maybe it's just yeah,
Yeah, it's definitely
probably
at an angle. It's definitely at an angle.
yeah.
Yeah. And if you had that as a hand specimen, you'd see beautiful, beautiful ridges on the outside.
Because here, yeah.
Yep.
But I do have a lot more pictures in there. So different kinds. I
Yeah.
have different kinds of ammonites too.
Yeah.
So this is basically the same one, same kind.
Hold on. Let me just send a text to my sister.
All right, no problem.
In Eastern. We have a family meeting today.
You can clearly
Okay.
make
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. That's another one. Yeah. Beautiful.
You can make out the end of it pretty much right here.
Yeah.
It's
That's the
pretty
end, yeah.
clear.
But there's none of the body is left. The
You
body
don't think that any of this, you don't think it retracted inside or anything?
Yeah, no. It's just the bodies. If you had the body preserved, what you would see is the tentacles.
Tentacles,
Yeah,
right.
and you don't see any tentacles. And so what this is, the interior of the shell is filled with some sort of cement.
This here
Right
would
there.
be
Yeah,
this
some sort of
crystallized,
yeah, it's like calcite cement probably.
something crystallized
Yeah.
there,
Yeah, and then you can see the septa really beautifully there.
which is really, yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so in this case, a lot of the shell's missing. Yeah, here too, the early chambers are filled with cement and partly crushed in.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're right, you really don't see too much of the body in
No.
this case. I don't think.
Soft. Yeah, so here is one cut on edge. So the others are cut. If you think of this as a spiral like a snail, most of these have been cut parallel to the spiral. This one's cut at 90 degrees to the spiral. So it's exactly the same animal. And now the
Right.
septa have kind of weird shapes to them. And
Yeah.
that's why the septa are all these curvy lines that you see in there are the septa.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, it's aesthetically beautiful. But
yeah.
you can go to any rock shop and you can buy these. They're pretty common.
So, and you don't think this is part of the animal? This is part.
No, that's a different. Can you zoom
Be
out a
it.
little bit so I can see?
Zoom out.
All right. So I need to leave in about 10 minutes.
Okay.
'Cause I've got a family meeting. Yeah, I don't know what kind of. That's some sort of shell, but I don't know what it is.
Well, let me try to go through here in a quick because I want your.
Yeah.
your
Yeah,
thoughts on
sure.
some of this stuff here.
Yeah,
Here's
that's another one just cut on edge.
another one. It's
Yeah, the same exact animal. Yeah,
almost identical.
and I
It's
don't know
part,
what that other thing is
and
that's
it
in
could
there.
be. I think it could
I
be
don't know what
the
that
same
is.
animal. It could be the same animal, just a different slice.
Well, the one on the bottom surely is, but that V-shaped thing on the top, that is. You notice how the shell is thicker and kind of irregular. That's
Right here.
probably a sponge.
It
That's
could
my
be
guess.
something.
A
Yeah,
sponge.
well,
Yeah,
that's what I wanted to ask you about is
yeah,
because
yeah.
if it's a sponge, that would be a soft bodied animal.
Well, depends on the kind of sponge. So sponges are made. Some sponges are soft-bodied, but some sponges have mineralized spicula.
Okay,
The spicule.
here's a good
Yeah, that's
example
another.
here.
Yeah, yeah, that's beautiful, but it's not soft-bodied. That's just debris.
You don't think this is part of the animal
No,
ammonite
100.
ammo?
It is not. It's 100% sure. There's nothing mineralized in there, and that's all mineralized. And so, if it was soft-bodied, you see things like organs, like there's a heart and
Okay,
muscles and all
inside
that.
here, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But you don't see any definition here of
Nope,
anything.
nope. Yeah, these are all beautiful, beautiful ammonites. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, I think it was
Yeah, I
really
mean, I've
nice.
made a lot of thin sections of limestone of this kind, and I know what you see.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's another one.
it's a
Yeah.
little bit out of focus, but it's a
Oh
different
yeah,
kind.
this one has.
It's a different animal. It's a different kind, right?
Yeah, it's got a more complicated shell. See all those ridges on the shell?
Yeah,
You can see them on the left side, even though it's out of focus. You see them on
and
the left side.
you
Yeah.
don't think this is the animal right here,
Nope. Not a chance. Yeah, sorry. I know
even
you want it to
though
be, but it's not. It's
but
not.
even though there's several examples of that, like this,
Yeah, I know. I know.
right
That's
there.
just debris that's filling. If you look outside the shell, like in the upper left, you see the same kind of thing.
Um,
That's just debris that's filling the shell.
okay, yeah, well, we'll have to move on, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah, that's the same thing.
Same one, I guess. So, do you have any idea what this is?
This, I think, is that same thing we saw as a V before. And now, so the V was being cut kind of up and down, and this is being cut parallel to the bedding surface. And I think this is a sponge.
Sponge. Okay,
Yeah,
sponge. That sounds good.
some sponges are kind of bowl shaped. So you
Okay,
can imagine a bowl shaped thing, and they're kind of thick walled. And then this has been cut like halfway up the bowl, parallel to the tabletop that the bowl's resting on.
would you
And so,
recognize a jellyfish? It might be a dumb question, but if you
um,
saw, you
yeah, but
saw
jellyfish again are preserved as impressions, and they don't have any thickness to them. This is again sponge. I'm pretty sure.
this is sponge. Okay,
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty.
so is this
Sponges
it?
are not as common as ammonites, but they still
But
get preserved.
but is the sponge just what's on the outside or what's on the inside as well?
No, the inside is hollow. The inside
Okay,
is
so the sponge is just what's on the outside, and this would be
exactly. Yeah.
some
So the way
kind
the
of
sponge works is it's got lots of individual cells that push the water through from the outside to the inside and then up out the top, and they're constantly filtering the water for bits of organic matter, like
so
plankton.
so you
So
think
that's the
this
way.
would be like the bottom and the top,
I think those are just,
Could-
yeah.
or just
It's a complicated three-dimensional structure, and so it's really hard to know exactly how it's being cut. Yeah, that's another one. That's
it's
another
another one?
sponge.
Yeah, okay,
So you're cutting. If the sponge is sitting on the seafloor, this cut is parallel to the seafloor, like halfway up the sponge's body. So
right.
the sponges are kind of intermediate between single-celled and multicellular animals. They're kind of in between.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah, that's a kind of a crushed partial ammonite.
yeah, I think that's an ammonite.
Yeah,
Okay, and
that's
this,
I'm not sure what that is. That might be a sponge, but it's been recrystallized.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, I got some stuff that looks kind of like a fish actually, and then
yeah,
this
that's a sponge. That's a beautiful sponge. You can see
that so
the.
this is a
Yeah,
sponge. Okay,
yeah, pretty sure. Yeah,
all right,
yeah.
all right. That's good to know.
So hurry up to show the, because I got to go. Yeah, that's another sponge, I think. That's an ammonite cut at an angle.
Yeah,
More ammonite.
another one. You know what this
That
is, right?
I know what that is. Yeah, that's a fossil. You'll have to look this up.
It's a
That is,
belemnite.
it might be a belemnite. The only thing that bothers me is the thing to the left. That
This
part in the middle looks like a belemnite, but the thing to the left doesn't. Yeah. So
this
belemnite is a hard shell of a squid. Those are chambers. That's a straight cone nautiloid.
it's a nautiloid,
Yeah,
which is basically just similar, right?
it's a straight coned ammonite. Yeah.
It's okay. So Yeah, straight nautiloid. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's good because I was wondering about this myself. So these
Yeah,
are
those are the chambers that would
the
be filled with air.
chambers,
Yeah.
right? Okay. So and I do have a lot of pictures
That's
of
a
them.
belemnite. Yeah, that's a belemnite. Another one. Another one. That's an ammonite again.
Okay.
Another ammonite. Another ammonite. Another one.
Sponge.
Well, there's an ammonite in the middle that's been kind of like crushed. That might be a sponge, and another sponge on the left too.
Yeah.
That's a sponge. Yeah, we have very similar limestone in our campus at work.
This would be the
That's
belemnite here.
that's another belemnite cut almost perfectly. So yeah, that's a belemnite for sure, and a sponge. This looks almost exactly like the marble we have, or the limestone. I said marble. The limestone we have at work.
Okay, this is interesting. You got to have a big one, big ammonite, and a little one here.
Yep, yep,
It's not exactly inside, but
yep. I'm not sure what that thing is. That thing with the radial structure that you're pointing to. I
yeah,
don't know. I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah, that's an ammonite again. Belemnite.
Out of focus.
Belemnite. Yeah.
Here's a good
That,
one
that's looks like the same one you showed before. Just upside
with
down.
the shell
Yeah, that's
structure.
exactly the same fossil you showed before.
Okay. Now this is
Yeah,
a
that's a beautiful ammonite with a lot of times the boundaries between the chambers have these really weird shapes, and that's what you're seeing there.
yeah. And I have
Yeah,
some more that are
two
even
ammonites, belemnite, two
okay.
ammonites.
And you don't think any of this is the body of the animal? Animal.
Absolutely, yeah, not a chance.
Okay. Here, what
Yeah,
would this be?
I'm not sure what that is. It could be a sponge that you're cutting lengthwise.
Sponge, not a
I'm not
fish.
sure. No, 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 not a fish.
Here is a long section of the
Yeah, I
shells.
don't get, I'm.
I don't get it either because
That is definitely a cephalopod. I'm 100% sure of that. But what exact kind, I don't know. So I can continue this later, but I got to go now because I got a family meeting.
okay.
Those are
I just
sponges.
want to get
Yeah,
to sorry.
yeah. Get
What?
one. I'll let you do one more before I got to go. Yeah, these are all cephalopods and sponges. So everything you show
So,
is a cephalopod or sponge.
sorry to hold you on. I just want to show
Cephalopod,
you
sponge,
this
sponge,
one. This one.
cephalopod. Yeah, this is another ammonite.
This one here.
Yep, another ammonite. See the chambers. If you go, yeah,
It's
see those
beautiful.
things. See those things that are really wiggly.
Yeah.
So you're familiar with the concept of fractals.
Yeah.
So if you look at the shell of some of the really weird ammonites, they have the septa that form the boundaries between the chambers have a fractal pattern to them, and that's what you're seeing there. You're very close to
Okay.
the edge of the shell, and you're seeing the fractal pattern of the
And this is used in jewelry, isn't it?
Yeah, a lot of times, or refrigerator magnets, that kind of thing. I've got a couple of them. I've
Okay.
given
All
them to my
right.
parents.
That's about it. I don't want to keep
All
it
right,
anymore.
I'm sorry, I gotta go. I'm not trying to be rude, but I have a family meeting.
All right. Thank you.
On.
Thanks a
All right,
lot.
sorry, but nothing here is soft body. Nothing.
Thanks. But the belemnite is soft body.
No. That's made of it's mineralized. It's like phosphate or something. Belemnites are not soft bodied. They're hard shells.
But
Yep. I mean, they had a soft-bodied organism there, but the part you're seeing
right.
that
But
that
see,
that
see
is not
all.
that was not soft-bodied.
But
That
it's
was
a cross
mineral.
section. It's what's inside
Yeah,
of the.
it's all mineral. It's solid. The
the
belemnite's a really weird fossil. It's completely solid inside. You
oh,
can
it's
pick them up.
completely solid. This is solid.
Yep, yep,
Oh,
100%
okay.
solid. Yep.
All right. Well,
Hey, sorry,
thanks.
guy, I gotta go. All right.
All right. Thanks.
Okay, bye.
Wow. Okay. So got a denial on that. Let me see. There's Ronan. I don't know if you're up for a discussion now, Ronan, but that was interesting. At least he knew what he's looking at a little bit, pretty much. Um, so I guess apparently, according to him, a sponge is not a soft-bodied animal. A belemnite, ammonites, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that, but it's it is sedimentary rock that was metamorphized into what he says is a limestone, but It's really kind of a smooth marble, but I don't know. It is what it is. I don't know if Yippee wants to join. You want to join, Yippee? Uh, maybe, maybe not. Anyway, that was good. I'd like to get some more, you know, scrutiny of the pictures, so I could understand a little bit better. But that helped a lot, though. I appreciate Howard for helping me out on that. He's a geologist of 40 years and works with the petroleum industry, and appreciates the fossils and stuff, the different ones. So I don't know. I guess Ronan's not going to participate, or is not paying attention or something. So I guess that's about it for now. It is water deposited sediments with examples of life at the time of the global flood that was buried and subsequently metamorphized into tiles. Now you can see it at Orlando Airport. He says they're not marble, but they're limestone tiles. To me, it's marble. It's metamorphized. I don't see any individual sand grain layers or anything in there. And it's basically metamorphized so that it reached the melting point and then, of course, hardened like a piece of glass or rock. Anyway, that's about it for now, I guess. If nobody's interested in joining, and so I guess I'll be around later sometime.